Hi there, this is Oliver from Sidebar, and in this video we are going to have a look at applications, stacks, and links to folders or single files. I actually get a lot of questions about this, so this is why I decided to make a separate video just to cover this topic. First of all, we are going to start with applications. Now, as you can see, we have the calculator app running and we have the Finder app running right now. If I quit the calculator, you can see it instantly will be removed from Sidebar. Let's start it up again. What is a good way to actually add an application to Sidebar? If you want to add an application, you just start it like I just did for the calculator app. And if you want to if you want to make the app stay in Sidebar, even if the app is closed, you can right-click the app, enter customization mode, and pin it to either all screens or specific screens where you want the app to be pinned to. A pinned application will remain in Sidebar even when closed. So if I close the calculator app now, you can see the running indicator will be removed, meaning the app is not running anymore, but the icon is still visible. So if I click on the icon now, this will start up the calculator. Another way to add an application is by simply dragging it from Finder directly onto Sidebar. As you can see now, the calendar app has now been added to Sidebar and is automatically pinned to Sidebar. If you want to remove an application from Sidebar, you can either unpin it if it's not running. So for instance, let's unpin the calendar app here. By unpinning a non-running application, this will instantly remove this application. If I unpin the calculator app now, this won't remove the calculator because the calculator app is still running here. If I quit it, it will be removed. Let's start up the calculator again and let's pin the calendar. All right. Another way to remove an application and unpin an application is by just dragging it out of Sidebar. So you drag the application out of Sidebar. Next, we are going to have a look at stacks. And let's add the calendar app here again. If you right-click on an application, you can enter the customization mode. Within the customization mode, you have the option to add this application to a new stack. If you do that, you can see that the icon switches to the stack icon, and we now have a stack. We can also rename this stack, for instance, to applications. If you want to have further information about the context menu, feel free to have a look about the separate video about the context menu where I explain it in detail and every functionality in there. We now renamed the stack to applications, and if we hover the stack now, you can see it's called applications now. You can add applications to a stack by simply drag and dropping it onto the stack, so like this. And you can see now there are two applications within the stacks. A stack can hold running applications and non-running applications, and this is also valid for pinned and unpinned applications. So for instance, the calculator app is not pinned right now. If I close the calculator app here and open up the stack, you can see the calculator app is not present anymore. If I open the calculator again, calculator will be added. And if I pin it and have a look at the stack again, you can see it's still there. If I quit it now, it will remain visible because the app is now pinned. To get an application out of a stack, you can either right-click it and enter customization mode again and select the remove from the stack option, or you can simply drag and drop it out of this stack by just using a drag and drop gesture directly onto Sidebar. This will also remove it from the stack. You have different ways of displaying a stack or stack content. If you enter the customization mode here again, you have these stack-specific settings. This will allow you to either show it as a grid or show it as a list. There's also a global setting for this that you can find in the styling settings here in the stacks category. where you can set it up if you want to globally show stacks as grid by default or as list by default. There's also an option if you want to open stacks on hover. So by just placing your cursor over the stack, this will open up the stack. If you disable this, you have to actually click on the stack to open it. Again, you can override this for individual stacks by just entering customization mode and switch it to a list view, for instance. So now we can see that this has changed to a list overview and placed the running indicator on the left side and the name on the right side. You can also remove all applications from a stack at once by removing the stack as such. Right-click on the stack again, enter customization mode, and select the remove the stack option. By doing so, this will automatically remove the stack and automatically move all applications that were located inside the stack outside to Sidebar. All right. The next thing are links to folders and links to files. I've prepared two things. You can see we have a folder A here and we have a folder B here. You can add folders by just dragging it out from Finder like this. And then it will be added to Sidebar. Let's do the same thing with folder B. The only thing that doesn't work, and this is, you have to look out for that, is you cannot drag something from Finder's Sidebar over here to Sidebar. So this won't work because this isn't actually a link. This is just a Finder internal link. So if you want to add the downloads folder, you have to drag it from this section of Finder and not from Finder's Sidebar here. Again, we now have two folders in Sidebar. You can see they are using the same icon. This is the same or the standard folder icon. If you want to change that, you can right-click it, enter customization mode, and click on the icon here and select a new one. Or you can also change the title of a folder again, and we are just calling it A here. And now if we hover it, you can see this is folder A now, and this is folder B because we didn't change that. Again, there are global settings for folders available in the styling settings here. And you can choose if you want to display it as a list, like we just saw in this view, or if you want to, by default, show it as a grid. Again, we have the option to activate it on hover, like you just saw. If you hover the icon, this will open up the folder. And you can also choose what should happen if you click a single file in the overview. So if you open up this now and you hover one of the files, you can see that a little preview will be generated here. This is context aware. So for images, this will be an image. For a text file, this will be the text file. And you can actually choose now what should happen if you click on this file. So for instance, if I click on the logo now, this will open up the logo because I've chosen here the open file action. You can also choose the open in Finder or show larger preview option, which will do something else if you actually click on the icon in the overview of the folder. Also, you can adjust the default sorting behavior of the files displayed in the overview here. Right now we are sorting it by name ascending by default. You can change the size of the previews. It's right now it's 200 pixels. This is basically this little preview that appears when I hover one of the files. You can also disable the preview entirely. Again, if you right-click on a folder here, enter customization mode, you have the link-specific settings and can override this for a single folder. You can choose what should happen if you click on this folder or if you hover it, depending on if you enable the option or not. Let's choose show as a grid here for this one. So you can actually see that by default, we are using a list version. And for this one, we are using a grid version, which will display the folder in a grid instead of a list. You can quickly access the sorting functions right here. This will open this additional panel here, and you can, for instance, sort by name, creation date, or type, and either ascending or descending. This allows you to quickly sort the content of the folder that is displayed here. Again, you can remove a folder from Sidebar by right-clicking it and clicking the Customize button and select the Remove Link here. This will remove the link to the folder. Another thing that you can do is pin a single file to Sidebar. If you do that, for instance, let's pin the Sidebar logo here. You actually just drag it from Finder. And now you have to drop it on the pin files section here. By doing so, you will create a link to a single file, and if you click the link, this will open up the file with the standard application as defined on your system. It's important that you actually use this pin files area here and not just drop it on the area of Sidebar, because you can also do that. You can, for instance, and let's try that. I can open Safari and drag this file here onto the Safari icon, and this will open the file in the application. So this will actually pass through a file that you dropped on Sidebar, on an application on Sidebar, directly to the application and open this file using this specific application. Again, if you want to unpin this file here, you can just right-click it and use the remove link option here to remove it. Important is that you cannot, and again, pin files from the Finder sidebar. So you actually have to drag it from here to Sidebar to the pin area in Sidebar to pin a single file. If you want to open a single file with a specific application, you can just drag it and drop it on the application here to open it with a specific application. All right, that's it. Thank you for listening.